This is the fifth video in our series on how to move to more of a conversation-based selling approach. In this video, we will discuss how this can improve and completely change what you do when you are networking. And when we are referring to networking, we are talking about going to formal networking events. But what we'll talk about here can also improve and change what you do when you are informally networking in terms of being social and active in your local community and in your day-to-day life. By the way, when people say lead generation, they primarily think about cold calling and cold emailing. I personally think networking is one of the most productive ways to generate leads and build your business. And when a product selling salesperson is networking, they are primarily going to events looking for prospects that they can try to sell their product to. And of course, with this approach, we are shifting from selling our product and focusing more on simply getting people to have longer, more established conversations with us. And when it comes to networking, the people that we try to get to move to the conversation sales process step is a little bit different. Similar to cold emailing and cold calling, we will, of course, look for and try to get potential prospects to move to the conversation sales process step. But we can also look for and try to get people that we classify as networking partners to agree to move forward and talk to us more. Potential prospects are people that we meet that might need the improvements that our product or service can deliver. Or they might have the problems that we can solve with our product or service. Networking partners are different. Networking partners might not fit at all with the product or service that we sell, but they might have valuable information and knowledge to share and someone that we could learn from, or they might be someone that we could share referrals with. Maybe the products and services that we sell complement one another, or the networks of people that we know might fit well and complement each other, creating potential for us to probably send leads and referrals to one another. When you meet a potential prospect, the potential that you could get out of that time investment in most cases is one potential future customer. But if you spend time with a new networking partner and build that relationship, that time investment could actually lead to many potential future customers. And with that being the case, I actually recommend that when you are networking, you primarily approach who you are looking for and how you talk to people as though you are primarily looking to meet new networking partners. Not only can that approach maybe lead to you generating more leads in the long term, but that approach can actually improve the impression you make when you are meeting new people, because you will be decreasing how much you look like a salesperson who's trying to sell something and a salesperson who's looking for potential prospects. And here are 5 tips that will help you to get networking partners and potential prospects to agree to move forward to having longer conversations with you. And the first is to minimize talking about the product you sell. And when you talk less about the product you sell, you will decrease how much you look like a salesperson who is trying to sell something. And another way to look less like a salesperson is to make your interactions more about the other person you are talking to. And the only thing you have to do to shift the spotlight from you and your product and make it more about the other person is to simply ask good questions. And when you ask good questions, you will improve your ability to find a reason for you and the person you're talking to talk more and have a longer conversation on another day. And I'm going to show you exactly what you can say and ask and do to implement each of these tips into your networking. And to do this, I'm going to use the building blocks that we created in a previous video in this video series. And when you are networking, one of the most frequently asked questions that you will answer is, what do you do? And most product selling salespeople will answer this question by explaining what they sell, or they might answer by saying the company they work for, or they might answer by saying the type of salesperson they are. Now, answering this question in this way when you're networking is not detrimental and cause too many problems, but it does flag you as being a salesperson, and it's not a real exciting answer that can often lead to interesting conversation or deeper discussion. So I'm going to show you how you answer this question, and because this is such a frequently asked question, this one small change can have a big impact on your interactions with the people that you meet. And that is that instead of explaining what you sell, you can answer the what do you do question with your value points. So if someone says, what do you do? You can answer that, I help businesses to get their reps generating more leads, improve the performance of every rep on their team, decrease sales staff turnover. You could also answer the question of what do you do with sharing the pain points and problems that you fix. A lot of businesses have challenges with getting their reps to generate enough new leads, and they often have too many underperforming reps. And sales staff turnover can be costly to a business and an organization. I basically work with businesses and help to solve those challenges. Now, when you answer the what do you do question in this way, you might give the other person what they're looking for, and you can transition the question to make it about the other person by asking what they do. But if the person you're talking to is looking at you and wanting to know more, you could then transition to talk about the product you sell by saying something like, and I do that by providing a software application called SalesScripter that makes it easy to get reps saying and asking the right things by allowing you to create web-based playbooks, distribute knowledge scripts and talking points to your reps, and helps reps to practice their pitch with an AI version of a prospect. So hopefully at this point, you've clearly explained what you do, and maybe you've done it in a more informative and interesting way. But at this point, you want to shift the conversation to make it more about the other person, and you can do that by asking networking questions. How's your day going so far? What do you do? How long have you been doing that? What did you do before you did that? What do you like most about what you do? Is there something that motivated you to get into that type of work? Where are you from? What brought you to this event? Have you found this to be a productive event for you? Are there any other events you recommend? How can I help you to be successful? What does a good prospect for you look like? So if you ask any mix of these, hopefully that will get a good conversation going between you and the prospect. It will make it more about the other person, and you're very likely to find a reason to talk more. But if these questions don't do that, you could progress to asking some of your pain questions, which are typically designed more for when you're talking with prospects, but you could ask the person you're talking to when you're networking any of your pain questions. Or you could certainly ask them any of your current state questions. And so hopefully during the time you spend asking questions and learning about the prospect, you find a reason to talk more, and you could then close the prospect for talking more by saying something like, you know what, I'm really enjoying talking with you, and I'd like to learn more about what you're doing and what you're working on. What do you think about pausing here and then getting back together on another day, maybe meet over a cup of coffee, we could grab a bite to eat, and then we could pick up here and discuss in more detail what you're doing, what you're working on, and maybe we might identify if there are any ways that we can collaborate and work together. How does that sound? So hopefully that gives you some ideas of how to improve your networking and get more people that you meet to progress to the conversation step of your sales process. In the next video, we will talk about how you can use the conversation-based selling approach to improve how you respond and get around objections that you experience in all of these different interactions. And we look forward to seeing you there.